living what matters for me when I was diagnosed with cancer was not even something that was part of my consciousness. Using resonance, giving myself permission for self-care, those were crazy talk. And I have to tell you, had I died when I was diagnosed at 37, my life would have been pretty meaningless. I would have spent it doing what other people thought I should do, what society thought I should do, what I told myself I should be doing because I thought that would make other people like me. And the truth of the matter is that none of those things at all were things that I loved doing and things that fed me as a human being. I want you guys to have moments like the ones on the screen here. These are all things that I've done since I became a survivor that I never would have attempted before. The before cancer Paula had a small life that was based on other people in society. Today, if God forbid I was to get hit by a bus and die, my life would be complete. I would feel like I had mattered. I would feel like I had had a great life, and I would feel like I had made a contribution to the world. And I think that's what all human beings want, is to be able to feel that connection, that contribution, and feel good about themselves. So here's what you need to know about walking through the discomfort of change. Change is not a straight line. It is always a 3 steps forward, 1 step back process where we decide we're going to do it. We shut down the crazy woman with the ruler who tells us in our head, the voices in our head that we can't, and we move forward, and we move forward, and then we hit a plateau, and then we get stuck, and then maybe we jump or maybe we go down, but at some point we jump, and the process starts again. And so expecting to go from where you are now to where you want to go in a straight line with no discomfort, no dips, no setbacks, that's just not realistic. The world doesn't work that way. Human beings' brains don't work that way. And truthfully, I don't think we want it to, because sometimes it's the plateau or the stuck part where the line veers off in a totally different direction that you never would have thought of. And you might have missed it if you had the blinders on and just kept going. So I want you to remember this visual. Change is not a straight line. And when you feel like you're stuck or you're feeling a little paralyzed by it, that's okay. It's part of the change. And what you need to learn to do is to have compassion for yourself and say, oh wow, look, I was doing so well and now I'm not. I think this is part of that process of change Paula told me about. I think I'll go do something else that's fun for a little while. And before you know it, you're going to be back on track with everything. It's when you folks start to narrow in and focus and angst over what you aren't doing that you lose your momentum and things start to go downhill rather than up. And I have to remind you guys that at each step up and down you take, you need to applaud yourself, yay, and be proud because you are making progress. You are accomplishing your dreams and you are building a new normal life that honors who you are, how you want to be, and what you're going to give to the world. I'd like to recap for you guys now the 3 essential steps. 1 is resonance, knowing what matters to you. It doesn't usually come from your brain, it comes from your intuition, it comes from your heart, it comes from things that make you feel good about yourself. Step 2, permission. You have to give yourself permission to make your own needs as much of a priority as everyone else's. If you don't have that permission, you're never going to make it all the way to where you want to go, and I want you to go where you want to go. Last but not least, sustainable action, probably the second most difficult part after permission. Accepting the discomfort as part of the process, loving yourself when you're not making progress, and celebrating each small step as success. These are the things that are going to build a fabulously wonderful new life for you. And if you happen to be thinking that there's no way you can do this, I just want to remind you that if you can do cancer, you can do anything. That's my belief, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I also would like to share with you a few last tools and tips that you can use. And all of this information is going to be available to you in the handout that's going to be available with this webinar. And so you don't have to write them all down, but just look for the ones that resonate with you. Choose to create your new normal life using resonance as a foundation. Give yourself permission and commit to making self-care a priority. Focus on changing one thing at a time. Know where you are in the 3-step forward, 1-step back process of change. Learn to set boundaries and say no. Practice daily gratitude and self-care. Create your own support structure. Celebrate each small step as a success and be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. I'd also like to let you guys know that if what we've been talking about in this 2-part webinar resonate with you, you might want to check out my What's Next After Cancer Treatment Ends Life book. It's a guided journal that will take you through the process that I do with my clients to help get you grounded in who you are and what you want to stand for, and to get going in creating that new normal life that is based on what matters most to you. You can find it on my website at whatsnextformylife.com. I'd like to close with these words from the Life book, supplied by Claudia. The uncertainty of tomorrow is what can inspire you to appreciate the here and now. Take a look at all the things you put aside until tomorrow. Call your mom or dad. Make amends with an estranged friend. Spend a long moment holding your child and visualizing every turn in his or her face. Make time to take care of yourself. Tomorrow is another day, but there is no better moment than today to start living. And that's what I want for each and every one of you. I want you to have the opportunity to live fully today, because we all know that there's no promise of tomorrow. Thank you so much for being part of the life of this webinar. I've enjoyed spending the time with you. And if you would like to learn more or talk with me at all, you can reach me. Here's my contact information. Y'all have a great, great rest of the day.